Hello. Today's episode number 52 of the Professor Slots podcast discusses my review of Miami Valley Gaming, a racetrack casino with VLT-style slot machines located in southwestern Ohio. Plus, in this episode, I'll be covering the current state of slot machine casino gambling in the great U.S. states of Oklahoma, Oregon, and Pennsylvania. Thank you for joining me for the Professor Slots podcast show. I'm John Friedel, and this is the podcast about slot machine casino gambling. It is where I provide knowledge, insights, and tools for helping you improve your slot machine gambling performance. In case you missed it, on my last episode I went over my 2019 review of Scientific Gaming Corporation, a primary supplier of slot machines and more to the world's gaming industry. Further, I reviewed Slot Machine Casino Gambling 2019 for 11 states and 1 territory, starting with Montana and ending with Ohio. I hope you enjoyed listening to my last episode as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Remember to visit professorslots.com/subscribe to get my free report revealing the top 7 online resources for improving your gambling performance, including the one I've used as a top-tier slot machine casino gambler. Let's start with the first segment of the show, Miami Valley Gaming Racetrack Casino Review in southwestern Ohio. In southwestern Ohio, near the small town of Lebanon, lies Miami Valley Gaming. This casino has a racetrack and offers video lottery terminal, that is to say VLT, style slot machines. What follows is my review of this casino. This segment has the following subsections. 1. An introduction. 2. First impressions. 3. Amber Lee the slot attendant and Mike the fan. 4. Playing the gold slot machine by Ruse. 5. High limit slot machine area. 6. Suggestions of what to do next. 7. Food and entertainment. 8. Who decides VLT odds of winning? And 9. A summary. Miami Valley Gaming is one of Ohio's 7 racinos, meaning it is a pari-mutuel wagering facility with slot machines. Here, you can either bet on galloping horses at their racetrack or play slot machines. MVG, as it's called, is mostly a new facility which has been open about 5.5 years. It's been a horse racetrack for some time, but grew to offer slot machines when these became legal in 2012. Right now, MVG has just over 1,900 gaming machines. I've been to this local casino before, although I haven't gambled much there. It's not so far from where I live. I even pass by it every time I go to work and return home. One evening last year, a local organization hosted a get-together there for a work-related event. We saw the presentation and had our dinner at the buffet. Then I took a few of my work friends out into the casino floor to explain how playing slots worked at a casino. I also knew of Miami Valley Gaming from a fan, Mike. Once a year, he comes to the Cincinnati area with his mom and family. Besides Jack Casino Cincinnati, he likes to play slots at MVG. I'll get back to Mike in a moment. Miami Valley Gaming is easy to access from the nearby I-75 interstate and has a vast parking lot. It's nearby to an outlet mall as well as 2 large flea markets open on the weekends. Either can be a nice place to go with your winnings. I arrived at MVG before noon on Monday, Memorial Day 2019, and played around 90 minutes. As usual, the first thing I did was go to the Players Club card counter. As I was already a member, I asked for a replacement player's card. Not being a new member, I cannot personally report on any promotional comps for new members. However, the Miami Valley Gaming website states their MVG Club is currently offering $10 in free slots play to new members. After that quick stop with no line, I looked around the casino for a bit. I wondered if there were any changes since I was there last. And there were a few changes. For example, I recalled the high limit area was remodeled just prior to my last visit about a year ago. At the time, I'd been there researching progressive slot machines for my Winning Strategy 2 Progressive Slot Machines article found in podcast episode number 25, Winning Strategy 2 and Massachusetts Slot Machine Casino Gambling 2018. Otherwise, a second area for smokers is now available. Ohio prohibits indoor smoking at businesses. Since more than a few gamblers like to smoke, MVG had initially built a small outdoor patio with slot machines on its south side near the main entrance. But it proved to be insufficient for Ohio smokers who also wanted to play slot machines. So MVG created a new and much larger smoking patio with slots directly across from the front patio on the other side of the casino. That was kind of them, even if based on solid business goals. I don't smoke. At one point or another, almost everyone in my family has. I never smoked, outside of my mother encouraging me not to do so from a young age because of my allergies. Breathing tobacco smoke turns my eyes red and gets me to sneezing. I very much wonder if I ever would have learned enough about slots to have this Professor Slots business if Ohio hadn't banned smoking at businesses in this state. Anytime I want a reminder of what it is like, all I have to do is visit a Las Vegas casino or one of those local smoking parlors on a busy night. My point here isn't that I'm being personal. My point here is that there may be a winning advantage to slot machines in smoking parlors at casinos where indoor smoking is banned, but it is unlikely I will ever put enough effort into determining if they exist. Put another way, I didn't even glance into the smoking parlors at Miami Valley Gaming. Perhaps it's an oversight on my part, ignoring these possible winning strategies. I certainly go to other cordoned off or separated areas of casinos, such as high-limit rooms. I've certainly spent a lot of time learning the winning strategies of that small group of slot machines. But I haven't done the same for smoking parlors. I have been inside of smoking parlors. I visited the one at MGM Northfield Park near Cleveland, but that was because I went with my internet lawyer as a friend. He smoked and I wanted to watch him play, so I sat next to him. But otherwise, no. No smoking parlors for me, thanks. Hopefully, I'm not missing out on discovering a winning advantage. I'll think about it. Maybe I'll do more than glance inside of these places someday. Perhaps I'll hold my breath while doing so. Okay, let's get back to Mike. I've mentioned him previously, back in episode number 11, Why Do Slot Machines Say Bar? DC Slot Machine Casino Gambling 2017. Toward the end of that episode, I mentioned Mike as someone who had left a podcast review on iTunes. Afterward, we got to chatting back and forth via email, which is what is essential here. Because about a year ago, Mike told me about a winning slot machine he'd just played at Miami Valley Gaming. He even sent a video of winning a $437 jackpot on this penny machine. You can see Mike playing this machine on his YouTube channel. I placed a link to it on my review article. A link to that article is available in the show notes for this podcast episode, or by visiting professorslots.com/E52. Have you ever told someone else how to find a specific slot machine within a casino? Mike told me how to find it rather clearly. He gave me the name of the machine and further said it faced the smoking parlor. Naturally, I made a note to find it later. I'd tried to find it last year but was unsuccessful. There are several of the same game theme in the round carousel alongside it. Frankly, I'd played the wrong one. And to start, I did that again today. That is, until Amberly, the slot attendant, showed up. I'd sat down and was slowly putting $20 bills into the machine. Twice, the slot machine seemed to be having a problem. It would cycle into a verification mode for a few seconds. That's when the very helpful Amberly showed up. She told me that sometimes the door didn't fully close, which can cause the error I was seeing. Then she stuck around for a little while to make sure everything was okay. And we got to talking. We discussed Mike's instructions about whether I should be facing the smoking patio or if the machine should be facing it. I was at the slot machine where I was facing the patio. We decided Mike meant the same slot machine game on the other side of the round carousel. I tried my 5-pull method on this first slot machine, and on the third bet got a $2 jackpot. I wasn't impressed. So I swung around to the other side and played the same slot machine game theme there. There, the machine was facing the original small smoking patio, while I was facing the machine. It's a penny slot machine with a maximum bet of 300 credits, or $3. This slot machine I'd heard so much about from Mike is called The Gold by slot manufacturer Aruz Gaming Incorporated. Aruz is one of the fastest-growing slot machine manufacturers in the world. Mike suggesting playing the slot machine because he'd won over $400 once and over $200 another time. Mike's $437 jackpot occurred during regular play, but I had the most success with bonus rounds. Bonus rounds start by getting at least 5 gold bars during regular play. That awards the player with 7 free games. During those games, regular jackpots are worth their usual amounts. However, each gold bar is now worth something itself, and there are more gold bars during bonus rounds. Once a bonus round starts, the first thing that happens is the machine determines how much a gold bar is worth. During regular play, getting 5 or more gold bars gets you into the bonus round. So at the start of the bonus round, the slot machine selects how much a gold bar is worth during bonus play. There are 12 possibilities, with some duplicates, starting at $2 and topping out at $75. However, getting more than 5 gold bars during regular play means making a cumulative selection of how much a gold bar is worth. If the original gold bars totaled 6, for example, then the player has won the usual 7 free games, but how much a gold bar is worth is selected twice. I got 3 bonus rounds, but each was due to winning only 5 gold bars. My understanding of the game rules is that winning 6 gold bars would have meant bonus rounds would have had gold bars worth the cumulative value of 2 selections. For example, if the first selection came up to 200 credits and the second was at 300 credits, then each gold bar would be worth 500 credits, or $5, during the 7 free games. The maximum number of gold bars during regular play was 10, which means the value of a gold bar would have been determined by adding up 5 selections. In about 15 minutes of gameplay, I got 5 gold bars 3 times during regular play, so I got 7 free games 3 times. For each of these bonus rounds, the gold bars ended up being worth 300 credits per gold bar, 200 credits per gold bar, and 200 credits per gold bar. I won small jackpots, perhaps as much as $28, during regular gameplay that didn't involve bonus round winnings. Here's how much I won during bonus rounds with regular jackpots and gold bars. During bonus round number 1, I won $49.50. During bonus round number 2, $38.50. And during bonus round number 3, $60.50. My bankroll for this casino trip was $200. I only allowed myself to drop to $100 when playing the gold penny slot machines. Of that $100 spent, I ended up walking away with $89.50. So how did I do? For March 2019, MVG had an actual payout return percentage of 91.65%. Getting back $89.50 from $100 is about average, perhaps 1 after long-term play. That means multiple casino trips over, say, a year. That I got it after 15 minutes of gameplay shouldn't be a typical result. What do I think? I think I like this slot machine. I wonder what would happen if I brought $500 and played maximum $3 bets for a couple of hours. Would I win something like what Mike won, worth several $100s for each jackpot? My feeling is I think I just might. When I have the opportunity, I should give this slot machine a chance to do just that. As I mentioned, I had a $200 bankroll. I only needed a $100 bankroll to learn what I needed to for you. With my interest in high-limit slots, I brought another $100 in bankroll just for them. Bringing a $100 bankroll to play high-limit slots is ridiculously low. I wasn't there to play high-limit slots. I'd estimate a $1,500 or $2,000 bankroll would be a good start if I felt the Miami Valley Gaming high-limit slots area had potential. The $100 bankroll I did bring into the high-limit room was for a quick spot check. I know of several ways to win at slot machines, assuming the casinos have set them up that way. I've already gone over these methods in several articles in previous podcast episodes. On this visit, I was there to try to spot if any of my known winning slot strategies exist at MVG. Here are my observations. 1. 5 people were playing slot machines in the high-limit slots area. 2. A third of the idle slot machines were showing a jackpot win. First, let's consider number 1 in greater detail. Even though it was a slow day at the casino, there were 5 people playing slot machines in the high-limit slots area. In my experience, that's far higher than usual. Second, I have never seen so many winning jackpots on idle slot machines. I thought maybe it was deliberate that slot attendants switched them to wins, but that's not possible. Technically, there's no standard way to do that. To be sure, I went up to several of them and looked at the last bet won indicator on the gaming console. Each console confirmed the last bet had been a jackpot. So there are jackpots won in the high-limit area of Miami Valley Gaming. This circumstance is intriguing and worthy of further investigation. Personally speaking, of course. As it happens, one of my quick winning strategies is to play a slot machine showing a win. As I have explained elsewhere, this has worked well for casinos that provide a taste to a player, especially if the slot machine hasn't been played for a while. And slots players avoid playing idle slot machines showing a win. So naturally, my winning strategy is to instead play it. Play it, but with only one bet. So I did. On one idle slot machine, a $5 denomination with up to 5 credits possible, showing a winning jackpot, I made a maximum bet of $25 with my $100 bankroll. And I won $25. Lucky. Or was it entirely luck? As I mentioned, this is worthy of further investigation. I also tried a second idle slot machine showing a winning jackpot, a $5 denomination with up to 2 credits possible. I bet the maximum, which is $10, once and didn't win anything. I was 1 for 2. If I had budgeted a $500 bankroll for all this, I would have made a single bet on each of the idle slot machines showing a win. Well, maybe I would not do this on all 3 of the $100 slot machines showing a win. Perhaps one of them? 2? It seems straightforward what I should do next. There are several somethings. The only question is, will I choose to do them? Here they are. 1. Play that specific The Gold slot machine with a $500 bankroll. 2. Budget bringing another $500 bankroll to play idle high-limit slot machines showing a jackpot win. And 3. Play another penny slot machine which I'd noticed, which seemed to be performing well. For the first suggestion, I've already explained why I should do this. That slot machine is doing well. While there's no direct proof it's a slot machine I would win money at, I did mostly break even on it. I'd say it's a candidate slot machine for 2 reasons. First, I could earn quite a few rewards credits with the Players Club program at a relatively cheap cost. I wonder, do they have any promotional comps I'd like? If not, why bother? Second, giving that slot machine a chance to play longer may mean more than cycling my bankroll. Instead, with more extended gameplay, I might win a significant jackpot. This scenario has happened a lot to me in the past. Also, as I've mentioned, those idle high-limit slot machines are intriguing. I could test them out with a $500 jackpot, perhaps even the same $500 jackpot I used on the Gold slot machine. If I am successful at cycling bankrolls on the Gold slot machine, or even won a few jackpots, that means I'd have my original bankroll when done. I could then spend my $500 bankroll in the high-limit area. Do you see it? I may not need 2 bankrolls of $500 each. By using this strategy, I may only need 1 $500 bankroll. I'll have to let you know if or when I go back to do this. As I've mentioned, I have a full-time day job and a second full-time job building up this business to someday start charging you for this slot machine advice. Slot machine gambling all by itself is at least another part-time job. Who has time for that? Me, maybe. We'll see. My third suggestion comes right out of the blue. As I was leaving the casino, I saw a slots player winning on a penny slot machine near the entrance. Miami Valley Gaming puts its newest slot machine game themes by the door. As Amberly the slot attendant had just told me, their newest slot machines usually do well. I don't want to get Amberly in trouble or anything, but putting her observation into how I look at casinos running their businesses, this casino sets up new slot machines to be winners. That's fascinating, and maybe a slots advantage play. As I mentioned, I saw someone winning on one of these new slot machines. I won't say which slot machine, in part because I haven't tested it out, but also because maybe I leave that slot machine for me to play. After all, it is a local casino I drive by every time I go to and come home from work. If this review was of a casino located somewhere far away, like Indiana, then I'd certainly tell you which one it was. But maybe I don't need to tell you every slot machine that's a winner when it's so close to me. For now, anyway. As I mentioned on my website articles, my podcast episodes have additional content not found anywhere else, and what follows is an example of that additional content. The slot machine I was just describing, the one I want to play next to see if it is indeed a winner, is Heidi's Beer House. That game theme is on several slot machines in a carousel located near the entrance to Miami Valley Gaming. The specific Heidi Beer House slot machine I saw someone winning on was furthest from the door, where the player can almost see the entrance on their left. While I haven't written about this approach as one of my 8 winning strategies, it really is a good one. However, I've mentioned it before in passing. Watch for someone else successfully using one of my winning strategies, and then try it yourself later. Recall that these articles I'm writing are meant as examples of what you could do or what you could look for when you first walk into a casino. I'm providing these reviews as examples of how to apply the principles I've already talked about. Of course, after reading or listening to this review of MVG, many will simply decide that they have to visit this casino and do what I did. That's fine, but of limited usefulness. After all, maybe it's inconvenient for you to visit southwestern Ohio. What's far more useful is to learn from me. Learn to assess your local casino. Either recognize some of the things I recognize in these reviews at your local casino, Or even better, learn my techniques to basically uncover all the things I would see if I were to review your local casino. I'd think you'd see more, because it is your local casino. You know it better than I ever will. Although maybe, as they say, a fresh pair of eyes will find things not found by someone who's been looking for a long time. Now, back to the show. Whenever I do one of these casino review trip reports, I always try to include something about the food and entertainment choices. This casino is sufficiently large that big acts can visit. For example, Billy Ray Cyrus is visiting in mid-June 2019. But the food here is just okay. Not enough people were at the casino around noon on Monday, Memorial Day 2019, for the buffet to be open. Their little grill was open for lunch, but that was about it. I have been to their buffet during other visits, however. It was okay. I may be a bit picky, as I love a great buffet. In a word again, I would say it was okay. There's also a steak and seafood restaurant, also closed so early in the day, called Sin City, where Sin is spelled C-I-N. It's a variant of the name of the largest city nearby, Cincinnati, sometimes also referred to as Cincy by locals. The type of slot machines found at Miami Valley Gaming are video lottery terminals, VLTs. When I've thought about playing slots here, the question on my mind has been, how does the Ohio Lottery control these slot machines? More specifically, what level of control do they have over these VLT-style slot machines? Not all of them are video slots, by the way. Many of them have physical reels. The gold slot machine I was playing has both, where the regular play is on physical reels and the bonus rounds shown on a video screen. Are these VLTs like those in Oregon, and regulated by the state lottery without bets decided upon by the remote lottery server? Or are they like the VLTs at tribal casinos in the state of New York, where the remote lottery server does determine the outcome of every individual bet? In Ohio, I've come to realize the VLTs at its racinos are like Oregon's VLT machines. Ohio Lottery regulates them but does not control them remotely on a bet-by-bet basis. The casino decides on which VLT game themes they want. Further, the casino even gets to decide what settings to use on its VLTs. In this way, the casino controls odds of winning on each VLT-style slot machine. But the casino does have to follow the gaming regulations set forth by the Ohio Lottery Commission. That means they have to follow the state regulations for Ohio's 7 racinos per the Ohio Lottery Commission. To hear more about payout returns for casinos and racinos in Ohio, listen to my podcast episode number 51, 2019 SGC Review and 11 U.S. Gaming Jurisdictions. In summary, with this review and casino trip report of Miami Valley Gaming in southwestern Ohio, I continue to apply my understanding of winning at slot machines. By talking with other slots players at MVG and candid conversations with knowledgeable slot attendants, I learned a lot, and I shared nearly all of it with you. I like Miami Valley Gaming, and not just because it currently has the best payout return statistics of any casino in Ohio. See my last episode for slots in Ohio. Well, okay, that is a big part of it. The food isn't great, but that's not particularly important to me. My preference is to get a sandwich, eat it quick, and get back to playing slots ASAP. Thanks. But the people are nice. The atmosphere feels good, and the casino employees are as professional as I've seen at a casino. This casino serves the locals, though. It's their focus. Advertisements in the area by MVG are all about Lucky Buckeyes, which is a type of nut. It's also a reference to Ohio State University, at one time the largest university in the country. Coworkers at my day job have tattoos of OSU. It's meaningful to them and other locals. Hey, have I ever mentioned I graduated from the University of Michigan? Twice? That pause is important. I try to work that statement into conversations with anyone I learn by clothing, tattoo, or because they say so, that they went to Ohio State. See, in case you're not aware, there's this long-standing rivalry between the two universities. Remember to visit ProfessorSlots.com/subscribe to get my free report revealing the top 7 online resources for improving your gambling performance, including the one I've used as a top-tier slot machine casino gambler. Up next is the second segment of the show on slot machine casino gambling. Here I provide a brief overview of the current state of gambling in 3 U.S. states, territories, or federal district, emphasizing, by far, anything of interest to slot machine casino gamblers. Up first is Oklahoma Slot Machine Casino Gambling 2019. Here goes. Oklahoma slot machine casino gambling consists of over 100 American Indian tribal casinos, or travel centers, as well as 2 parimutuel racinos with slot machines. Most casinos offer Class II competition-style gaming machines, although they can also legally offer Class III slot machines. No minimum or maximum payout returns are set in Oklahoma. Further, no payout return statistics are publicly available. The minimum legal gambling age in Oklahoma depends upon the gambling activity. For land-based casinos, poker rooms, the lottery, and parimutuel wagering, it's 18. For bingo, it's 16. Oklahoma has the second largest American Indian population in the United States, while California has the largest. Since 2009, Oklahoma has led the nation in the growth rate of tribal gaming. Oklahoma offers only tribal gaming. In November 2004, Oklahoma residents approved a state tribal gaming act via referendum. This measure enacted a model tribal gaming compact, allowing tribes to use new gaming machines and card games. Based on this model compact, 33 tribes have negotiated tribal state compacts with Oklahoma. Many tribal casinos prefer to offer Class II competition-style electronic games rather than Class III Vegas-style slot machines. Class II machines behave similarly to Class III games, with only slight differences. For instance, Class II games have spinning reels for entertainment purposes only. It is legal to privately own a slot machine in the state of Oklahoma if it is 25 years old or older. Oklahoma's state tribal compacts regulate tribal gaming in Oklahoma. However, the state of Oklahoma provides oversight under these compacts. This oversight role is the legal responsibility of the Gaming Compliance Unit within the Office of Management and Enterprise Services, OEMS. Based on the Oklahoma Gaming Compliance Unit Annual Report 2017, it is easy to see why Oklahoma casinos prefer Class II games. The reason? Tribal casinos have to pay the state 4% to 6% of revenue from Class III machines on a sliding scale. The balance between Class II and Class III machines in Oklahoma continues to shift. The number of Class III machines has steadily grown since 2012, but Class II machines grew even faster. In 2015, 57% of Class II and Class III gaming machines were Class III games. In 2017, there were 41,395 Class III machines in Oklahoma. There are over 100 American Indian tribal casinos as well as 2 parimutuel wagering racinos in Oklahoma. Providing an accurate count of casinos is difficult. Why? Because many convenience stores and travel plazas identify themselves as casinos. The largest casino in Oklahoma is the largest casino in the world. It is the WinStar World Casino and Resort, having 8,200 gaming machines and 100 table games. The second largest casino in Oklahoma is Riverwind Casino, having 2,700 gaming machines and 27 table games. There are no non-tribal casinos in Oklahoma. The 108 largest tribal casinos in Oklahoma are listed on my website blog article for this state at professorslots.com/OK, along with the city they are located in, including 2 parimutuel wagering racetracks with slot machines. As an alternative to enjoying Oklahoma slot machine casino gambling, consider exploring casino options in a nearby state. Oklahoma is bordered by, to the north, Colorado and Kansas, to the east, Arkansas and Missouri, to the south, Texas, and to the west, New Mexico. To visit any of my articles on these U.S. states, simply visit professorslots.com followed by its 2-letter designation. For example, my Colorado slots article is available at professorslots.com/CO. No payout return limits are legally set within Oklahoma's state tribal compacts. Further, no actual payout return statistics have been made publicly available. In the last week, I've heard from a couple of listeners about playing slots in Oklahoma. Frankly, they're not happy. Bobby told me that Oklahoma casinos change return to player settings on him, which makes him lose. He wants to know if there's anything he can do about it. Unfortunately, my response wasn't very helpful. It couldn't be because slot player protections aren't as good in Oklahoma as more than a few other states. As you know, Oklahoma has state tribal gaming compacts. There's no lower limit on payout returns. That's the problem right there. But I hope Bobby understands that the casino isn't targeting him specifically. I should write an article about this at some point. That it's far too much work, and therefore far too expensive, for casinos to try to control slot machine odds of winning based on who is playing it. The technology just isn't available that would allow this. But then it doesn't have to be if the casino lowers the odds of winning prior to Bobby or anyone else even walking into the casino. However, I did have a suggestion for Bobby. My suggestion intended to address his concern of being singled out, as well as to approach a slot machine with a common winning strategy. Here it is. I suggested he use my 5-pull approach to playing slot machines. This is where he'd only make up to 5 bets on a single slot machine. If he didn't win anything, then move on to another slot machine. If he did win anything at all, on, say, the 3rd pull, then stop playing that machine and move to another machine immediately. What's happening here is that casinos will often set up their slot machines to offer a taste to players that sit down at a slot machine. This taste is a bit of winnings, which gives the player a good feeling about choosing that machine, that it's a winner. So the player stays to spend what was won plus more. But leaving after that initial taste upsets this casino strategy. My suggestion is basically to move around from slot machine to slot machine and collect the taste from each. There's a bit more to this strategy which I'm not mentioning here about how to optimize using it. I haven't yet heard back from Bobby about whether he was willing to follow my suggestion, and if so, how it all worked out. Another email I recently received about Oklahoma casinos came from Patricia. She and her friends are very concerned about an Oklahoma tribal casino resort just across the border from where she lives in Texas. In her email, she mentioned that the payouts are getting awful, and lots of people are talking about it. She wants to talk with the Gaming Commission and maybe an attorney. I had to tell her that Oklahoma doesn't have a state gaming commission. Instead, it has tribal gaming commissions, one for each tribe operating a casino. That means there are 34 tribal gaming commissions in Oklahoma. In my response, I sent her a link to the gaming commission for the tribe she was interested in, but noted that there wasn't a complaint option there. Maybe she'll have some luck by giving them a call and having a chat. With Patricia, I had explanations about what was happening as well as 2 suggestions. Basically, the tribal casino is lowering its odds of winning on slot machines as a business decision based on their casino's location. It's close to the Texas border, where Texas only has 2 casinos, none of which are nearby. Yes, it's a business decision. Texans that want to play slots go to Oklahoma to do so. It's the whole reason tribal casinos in Oklahoma near the border to Texas had enough investment dollars to build a casino resort. It's central to their business plan. If nearby Texans want to play slots without driving a long distance, then they'll need to come to their tribal casino in Oklahoma. In fact, there is a business decision being made here. First, nearby Texans are their market. It's inconvenient for Texans to drive too much further. To make the most of this as much as possible, the tribal casino built a casino resort instead of a small casino. Because the tribal casino understands that this situation is temporary. Their exclusive casino offering to slots players in northern Texas will end once another casino opens nearby. So they want to make the most of it while they can. That's a simple business decision. So my suggestions to Patricia was this. First, stop going to that tribal casino and save her gambling money in order to make 2 to 3 gambling trips to someplace better. For example, Shreveport, Louisiana isn't too far away. Such a trip would likely require an overnight stay, but it's a better experience than what's going on now. And this is the danger for tribal casinos, that players will become so upset at the low odds of winning that it will overcome players' reluctance to go elsewhere. It's a fine line, but it seems like Oklahoma tribal gaming is crossing it. As I've mentioned elsewhere, sometimes commercial casinos will do this deliberately just prior to selling their casino. Again, it's a deliberate business plan to both make money as well as raise the chances they'll have better selling negotiations. But this doesn't apply to tribal casinos. Tribal casinos can't be sold. So this tribal casino is simply damaging their long-term reputation for short-term gains. Yes, businesses do that, but in my opinion, it's short-sighted. My second suggestion for Patricia was again my 5-pull method. In the short term, that might help her. However, as I mentioned to her, no matter how well it worked at her tribal casino, it's likely to work even better elsewhere. In summary, Oklahoma slot machine casino gambling consists of over 100 American Indian tribal casinos, as well as 2 parimutuel casinos. The WinStar World Casino and Resort in Thackerville, about 125 miles south of Oklahoma City, is the world's largest casino. About 57% of the gaming machines in Oklahoma are Class 3 Vegas-style slot machines. The remainder are Class 2 bingo-style machines, where the spinning reels are for entertainment purposes only. Per state tribal compacts, neither legal limits for payout returns have been set, nor are actual payout return statistics made publicly available. In the last year, Kiowa Casinos has opened 2 additional locations in Carnegie and Verdun. Also, the Seminole Nation Smoke Shop is now the Trading Post Casino, Wawaka. The Choctaw Nation in Stigler is now the Choctaw Travel Plaza. The Creek Nation Travel Plaza in Okmulgee is no longer a casino. Remember to visit ProfessorSlots.com/subscribe to get my free report revealing the top 7 online resources for improving your gambling performance, including the one I've used as a top-tier slot machine casino gambler. Up next is the second state comprising this episode segment, Oregon Slot Machine Casino Gambling 2019. Here goes. Oregon slot machine casino gambling consists of 9 American Indian tribal casinos, as well as a small number of slot machines at many bars, taverns, and pari-mutuel wagering facilities. All slot machines in Oregon are of the VLT-style variety. The Oregon Lottery controls non-tribal VLTs and has set an upper payout return limit. Each slots game has a readily available theoretical payout return found in the game. The minimum legal gambling age in Oregon depends upon the gambling activity. For land-based casinos, it's 21. For poker rooms, bingo, the lottery, and pari-mutuel wagering, it's 18. Per Oregon state law, bars and taverns may have up to 6 VLT-style slot machines. There are additional restrictions on how close together such businesses may be. Pari-mutuel sites have up to 10 VLTs. The maximum bet is $2.50, while the maximum payout is $600. Regarding slot machine private ownership, it is legal to privately own a slot machine in the state of Oregon if it is 25 years old or older. The Oregon Lottery regulates video lottery terminal, VLT, style gaming machines at non-tribal locations. Its 1992 Video Poker Lottery Terminal Network was the first centrally controlled gaming system in the United States. Vegas-style line games for slots were added to Oregon's VLTs in 2005. The Oregon Lottery is the second largest source of revenue for the state, after personal income taxes. Since 1985, it has transferred over $9 billion to support a variety of public projects. Also, since 1985, over $28 billion has been paid out to players. 8 out of Oregon's 9 tribes have negotiated a state tribal gaming compact. Regulation of tribal gaming in Oregon is by the Oregon State Police and the tribal gaming commissions of individual tribes. The Oregon Tribal Gaming Alliance, OTGA, is a coalition of these tribes which own and operate casinos in Oregon. In 2015, tribal gaming accounted for less than 32% of all gaming conducted in Oregon. Having seen how other states have handled both tribal gaming and VLTs, my thoughts on Oregon slots are, in general, pleased. Oregon has done the work, to be fair, to their residents, both tribal and non-tribal. This includes how the state is spending the gaming income. I haven't always gotten the same sense from other U.S. gaming jurisdictions. For example, I learned something new with studying Oregon VLTs. From their explanations on how they developed their VLT machines through their lottery system, I better understood how other states that didn't explain much about what they were doing. For example, I learned more about Rhode Island's VLTs because of their similarities with Oregon's approach, and I learned more about New York's VLTs at tribal casinos because of how different they are from Oregon's approach. You'd think that state gaming commissions should be a service to its state residents. All residents, not just tribal or non-tribal. Yes, the Nevada Gaming Commission is also good, and an example to the world's gaming jurisdictions for the last 80-plus years. But Oregon should be an excellent example to small gaming jurisdictions, those that don't have a Las Vegas or a Reno, of how to properly set up gaming regulations. What Oregon has can't and shouldn't be applied to other small gaming jurisdictions without modification, because everyone is different. But everyone is different from Nevada, too. Sometimes they are very different. Sometimes, in fact, they are far more like Oregon than they are like Nevada. In my mind, Oregon has done it right. This is just something I think, wish, and feel that other gaming jurisdictions should keep in mind. There are 9 American Indian tribal casinos as well as many non-tribal sites, including bars, taverns, and pari-mutuel sites in Oregon. The largest casino in Oregon is Spirit Mountain Casino, having 2,000 video slot machines and 49 table games. The second largest casino is Wild Horse Resort and Casino, having over 1,200 video slot machines and 17 table games. Spread throughout the state, Oregon currently has 3,935 VLT retailer sites at different venues having VLT gaming machines operated by the Oregon Lottery. As usual, when there are too many casinos to mention here, a complete list of Oregon's 9 American Indian tribal casinos, along with links to their websites, assuming they've set one up, is available at my website blog article for this state at professorslots.com/OR. As an alternative to enjoying Oregon slot machine casino gambling, consider exploring casino options in a nearby state. Oregon is bordered by, to the north, Washington, to the east, Idaho, to the south, California and Nevada, and to the west, the Pacific Ocean. To visit any of my articles on these U.S. states, simply visit professorslots.com followed by its 2-letter designation. For example, my Washington slots article is available at professorslots.com/WA. Theoretical payout return percentages for a specific game are under the Games menu or online at Oregon Lottery Games section. A percentage range is due to potential bonus rounds or other game features. Examples include 5 times pay line game has a payout percentage of 91.99%. Dragonfire Keno has a payout percentage range of 91.84% to 92.42%. The Oregon Lottery clearly states in its Myths and Facts webpage that VLTs cannot have their payout returns modified by the lottery's central computer server. Instead, any such change will require the physical on-site installation of new gaming software. Per Oregon state law, the maximum payout return percentage for VLTs is 96%. Extended play games may exceed this number. No payout return limits are available for tribal VLT machines, nor are actual payout return statistics publicly available. In summary, Oregon slot machine casino gambling consists of 9 American Indian tribal casinos, as well as 3,935 retail stores and pari-mutuel wagering facilities. Both tribal and non-tribal slot machines in Oregon are of the VLT style variety. The Oregon Lottery controls non-tribal VLTs and has set an upper payout return limit of 96%. Each non-tribal video game has a readily available theoretical payout return found in the game. No payout return statistics are publicly available in Oregon for any of the VLTs. Tribal VLTs have not set theoretical payout return limits. Over the last year, there have been little to no change in the Oregon gaming industry. Remember to visit professorslots.com/subscribe to get my free report revealing the top 7 online resources for improving your gambling performance, including the one I've used as a top-tier slot machine casino gambler. Up next is the third state comprising this episode segment, Pennsylvania Slot Machine Casino Gambling 2019. Here goes. Pennsylvania Slot Machine Casino Gambling consists of 12 casinos, including 4 standalone casinos, 2 casino resorts, and 6 racetrack racinos. 2 more locations have state legislative approval, including a standalone casino and a racino, but neither have yet to open. Pennsylvania law has both minimum and maximum theoretical payout return limits. Actual payout return statistics are available online at the State Gaming Commission. The minimum legal gambling age in Pennsylvania depends upon the gambling activity. For land-based casinos and poker rooms, it's 21. For bingo, the lottery, and pari-mutuel wagering, it's 18. The Pennsylvania Racehorse Development and Gaming Act passed in 2004, legalizing slot machines at 14 locations beginning in 2006. Of these, to date, 1 standalone casino and 1 racetrack racino have yet to open. Since July 2010, casinos in Pennsylvania can operate table games. In October 2017, the state legislature legalized casino gambling at truck stops, airports, and online. The bill also authorized 10 new satellite casinos with some location restrictions. Casino operators may operate a gambling parlor at any of Pennsylvania's international and regional airports, assuming successful agreements with the airport authority. No airport gaming parlors or satellite casinos have yet to open. Satellite casinos of existing casino operators must be within 25 miles of their existing Pennsylvania casino. Further, local municipalities may prohibit such a casino. These satellite casino licenses allow up to 750 slot machines and 50 table games. The racinos and standalone casinos can have up to 5,000 slot machines and 250 table games, while casino resorts can have up to 600 slot machines and 50 table games. Truck stops approved by their county may have up to 5 slot machines. To gamble within either casino resort, players must be a guest of that casino resort. Put another way, the gaming floors within casino resorts are not open to the public. Regarding slot machine private ownership, it is legal to privately own a slot machine in the state of Pennsylvania if it is 25 years old or older. The Pennsylvania Gaming Control Board, PGCB, is the state gaming commission. The PGCB is responsible for overseeing slot machines and casino gambling in the state. Two other state gaming commissions are responsible for the state lottery and charitable gaming. There are 2 casino resorts, 4 standalone casinos, and 6 racetrack casinos in Pennsylvania. The largest casino in Pennsylvania is Parks Casino and Racing, having 3,300 gaming machines and 180 table games. The second largest casino is Sands Casino Resort Bethlehem, having 3,000 gaming machines and 200 table games. As usual, when there are too many casinos to mention here, a complete list of Pennsylvania's casinos along with links to their websites is available on my website blog article for this state at professorslots.com/PA. Pennsylvania has no federally recognized American Indian tribes. During the 1700s, colonial expansion displaced the 6 original tribes of Pennsylvania. Only the Eastern Lenape Nation of Pennsylvania remains. American Indian tribes once native to Pennsylvania ended up on tribal reservations in Oklahoma. Therefore, Pennsylvania has no tribal casinos. As an alternative to enjoying Pennsylvania slot machine casino gambling, consider exploring casino options in a nearby state. Pennsylvania is bordered by, to the north, New York and Lake Erie. To the east, New Jersey. To the south, Delaware, Maryland, and West Virginia. And to the west, Ohio. To visit any of my articles on these U.S. states, simply visit professorslots.com followed by its 2-letter designation. For example, my New York slots article is available at professorslots.com/NY. Pennsylvania law requires gaming machines to return a minimum payout of 85% per state statute, section 461A.7, on slot machine minimum design standards. Further, it states a maximum payout return limit, which may not equal or exceed 100%. Both legal restrictions apply to any single play. Monthly payout return statistics are publicly available for each gaming facility, although the player win percent comes from dividing payouts by wagers. For March 2019, the payout returns for slots shows Valley Forge to have the highest return at 90.83% and second highest at Parks. The lowest return was at Presque Isle at 89.27%, with the second lowest at Penn National, only slightly higher at 89.32%. In summary, Pennsylvania slot machine casino gambling consists of 12 casinos, including 4 standalone casinos, 2 casino resorts, and 6 racetrack casinos. Other locations soon to be available include casino gambling at truck stops, airports, satellite casinos, and online. Pennsylvania law has an 85% minimum and up to a 100% maximum for theoretical payout return limits. Monthly payout return statistics for each casino are available online at the State Gaming Commission. In the last year, a delayed opening occurred for the last of the standalone casinos approved in 2004. The Live Hotel and Casino Philadelphia was to open in late 2018 with 2,000 slot machines and 125 table games. It's now expected in early 2020. I can't say much at this time, but I'm currently having conversations with a local news station in eastern Pennsylvania about being a guest on their evening news. It includes doing a more intense analysis of slot machine casino gambling in the state and locally for viewers of that TV station. Once the first interview is completed and released, if everything works out okay, I'll be sure to add a link to it on my website article for Pennsylvania at professorslots.com/PA, as well as mention it at the end of an upcoming podcast episode. So if you're in eastern Pennsylvania and perhaps visit Penn National on occasion, you may hear or see me on the local news later this year, using Stan Lee's second most popular saying, "Nuff said." Remember to visit professorslots.com/subscribe to get my free report revealing the top 7 online resources for improving your gambling performance, including the one I've used as a top-tier slot machine casino gambler. Part 1 of the next episode of the Professor Slots podcast is not yet determined. To make a suggestion or ask a question which may end up as a blog article or on a podcast episode, email it to John at professorslots.com, where John is spelled Jon, or by calling 702-90-SLOTS to leave a 3-minute or less voicemail. I'd appreciate any casino trip reports about playing slots if you care to offer that. Part 2 of the next episode of the Professor Slots podcast are more brief overviews of the current state of gambling in 2 or more U.S. states, territories, or federal district. Next time, at the least, I'll be talking to you about the great U.S. territory of Puerto Rico and the great U.S. state of Rhode Island. That's the end of another great episode of the Professor Slots podcast. Thanks so much for listening. Show notes for this episode are now available within most podcast apps, but also available on my website at professorslots.com/E52. I plan to have the next episode come out very soon for you. We'll have more amazing content for the show. Until the next episode, have fun, be safe, and make good choices. Bye.